30 seconds and counting.
There were plenty of years where there were guys who would dread being drafted by the Buffalo Bills. Not anymore.
Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds.
Brandon Beane realizes they're in a window of 2 to 3 years max to get this done while the iron's still hot. And getting Von Miller into that situation was big for the Bills.
10, 9.
Oh, baby.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Great interview, guys.
Yo! What is up, Buffalo Fanatics? Z-Bot here with you, live on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel on a Thursday evening. And that, of course, can only mean one thing. It is the Smoke Break, powered by BetUS, where the game begins. Receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,500 via the link in the description below using the promo code JOIN125. And speaking of joining, we're 1 week away from the first round of the NFL draft, so in order to continue to kill the time, we got to kill a couple more mock drafts, and I'm about to kill one with my brother Dan Mitchell. Danny boy, what's happening, brother? 1 week away. Are you stoked or what?
Dude, let me tell you what. I am pumped, mostly because I'm getting sick of doing mock drafts.
Yeah.
I think this might be probably into the hundreds. I mean, this is like 30th, 40th I've done live. But funny enough, man, I'm not sure if you caught the Brandon Beane press conference, but I feel like we got a lot of tidbits of where his mind was at. Like a lot of people crossing their fingers, hoping that we could potentially trade up into the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what I got out of that press conference today, making me think that's probably not going to happen.
Now, are you like very guarded this time of year about what you hear? Do you think, well, because I heard A, B must be true? Or are you really thinking we got some intel from Beane today? I know in particular, he mentioned how he hates giving up future capital.
Yeah.
We all know moving all the way up would require a significant amount of future capital. So are you taking that at face value, or is that Bills might not want to give up their assets just for a week from tonight, Beane giving up those assets?
See, it's not like he hasn't done it in the past, right? He's done it in the past. And unfortunately, I'd probably have to say that I'm more of the former. So I'm saying he's not going to do A, so it must be B. But I'm also just looking at like trends of his behaviors in the past. And that's true. Dude, he guards his picks. That has been something that I think a lot of Bills Mafia has come out and be like, oh, damn, F them picks, bro. Let's go up and get Roma Dunze at number 8 or number 7. One of the two. But I feel like all the moves he's been making this year, it makes sense to me that he really is getting heels to the ground and wanting to build this team youth first, but also with quality at the same time. So I think there's some truth to it. And so I think that he was a bit warmer right to the idea of trading up into the teens, but then he also ended up describing the sort of wide receiver that he was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
He really doubled down on character and rack. And there's really only a couple of dudes that are in that frame. So I think he probably also gave us a good idea of like what receiver makes sense for him or what he would like to see the Buffalo Bills grab. I think it's BTJ and I think it's Ladd McConkey are probably the two that probably fit what he has just been, screaming from the rooftops this morning.
Bean's got his work out for him, but he's not the only one who might have a tough day at the office the next week. It might be a tough day to be in product development over at Hallmark, Dan. I was just shopping for your Christmas gift earlier today.
Oh, thank you.
And Hallmark, coming in a couple of short months, has the Stephon Diggs 2024 NFL Buffalo Bills ornament getting ready for launch. This is just in. This is just across the news desk from my mother. She just sent this to me and said, "Will you be adding this to your collection?" And I said, well, it's a tough question because, one, if it's got the Bills logo on it and it's some sort of action figure type thing, I feel the need to have it.
Yeah.
But I don't need to have the ornament of the player who has just left us. But regardless, Dan, I was looking through the Hallmark catalog earlier.
Yeah.
This really, this was something to be seen. So speaking of wide receivers, if you want to add Stephon Diggs back to your roster, you can have him on your Christmas tree, Dan. How about this? We clearly the Hallmark staff not keeping up to date with Adam Schefter's Twitter.
No, not at all.
No.
So not at all, man.
If you miss Stephon Diggs, just thought I'd throw it out there. You can have him on your Christmas tree coming up this year. That's the problem right now, Dan, is that once you've exhausted, and I talked about this right when Diggs left. Once you exhaust all you can do from a marketability standpoint with Josh Allen, the Bills don't have that second guy. They don't have that second face of the franchise guy. I always look at it like if you're doing the Sunday Night Football teaser graphic, right? Obviously, Josh Allen's always going to be the guy featured, and we know sometimes there's teams that don't have anybody. But you see Diggs be the second man up always. Now the Bills don't really have that. The question is, will the ornament next year, will the marquee graphic next year be the guy that Brandon Beane grabs in the draft? Will that be the next household name?
Could be the dude.
Jersey seller, right? The guy that's on the cover of the program. We shall see. And we're about to find out who that guy is ourselves, because we're going to play Brandon Beane here on PFF, and we're going to do a mock draft. If you haven't seen a mock draft yet already, then you're if you've seen one, well, get ready for another. I'm sure you've seen 1,000 of these. I've done about 100 of these myself, Dan. There's a couple that I'm really happy with that I've done. Others I'm not so happy with. It usually depends on what the moves the CPU makes in the rounds. Let me ask you this. In the majority of the ones that you've done, are you doing a trade or are you letting the board fall as it goes?
So I'll tell you what, man, I've been really playing around with all the possibilities. So I've tried to trade up into the top 10. I've tried to trade up into the teens. I've stayed put and I've traded down. I'll tell you what, I'm slowly but surely starting to be fine with sticking at 28. Surprisingly enough, like I'm okay with BTJ in the teens. I'm fine with it, but have to remember, we don't have a third round pick.
Right.
And one other thing we got from Brandon Beane today is that he sort of slipped up. He was like, yeah, I mean, say for example, that we use our third. Oh, wait a minute. We don't have a third. Okay. Come on, dude. He's going to get back into it. There's a hell of a lot better of opportunities to get back into the third by like trading down in the second and then sticking at 28 and still walking away with some really good players. So it's kind of where I'm at right now, man. I think that I've been on the trend of staying put.
As we approach this upcoming draft that we're about to do, is that the approach you want to take, or do we want to see what goes down in the top 10? Where's your head at right now?
I'll tell you what, man. How about we approach this from a very reactive standpoint? So we'll go up. We'll see how we're feeling. If somebody falls to an absurd amount, then yeah, we'll pause that bad boy and we'll see what we can do. Right. I feel like everybody in the chat wants to see a trade up too. So we have to give the people what they want.
Yes, I agree. I'll tell you what, we probably got time for two. We'll do one where we try to trade up, because I think this is the best way to look at it. Because this to me is the two outcomes. There's going to be a scenario where the Bills trade up, and that's how the draft board is going to look once the conclusion of next weekend occurs. Or there's going to be an outcome where they don't move up, and then whatever happens there is what occurs. So we'll do two. We'll start off by just staying put. And we will see how the chips fall. Now, we'll do all 7. Now, as we get after the second or third round, you got to bear with us because, of course, it gets to the point there where you're just starting to throw darts. But hopefully those darts are turning into guys. But we'll see what happens here in the first round. So we'll kick it off here.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing a variety of different mock-ups in the beginning here that are interesting me. The Patriots potentially not going wide receiver, right? Wait, time out here. Did Odunze?
Yeah, it looks like Odunze went before Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors went before Marvin Harrison Jr.
Wow. So
if that's all right, listen, if that's the case, if that happens, then yes, I'm fine with sending the farm over to New York to get to number 6. I'm fine with that.
So you'd be willing to go. So we missed out on this one, but you would have been willing to do that.
Yeah, most definitely. I love Rome Odunze. Like, say for example, Odunze is still on the board at 6, then I'm completely fine with sending the farm over there.
Okay.
Surprisingly enough, I like Neighbors, but I'll be completely honest with you, man. I think BTJ is going to have a better career than Neighbors.
I think that, you know my thoughts on Odunze. I think we're gonna look back and that's gonna be the one. Especially Dan, if he winds up with Herbert, I can't think of a better scenario in the top 10 to be in if you're a wide receiver. Now, this is interesting me just before we click resume again. Jaden Daniels falling to 12 to the Denver Broncos. I mean, hell was gonna have to freeze over, I'd say, before we see that occur.
See, you know what, man? With Jaden Daniels, man, it's tough because I feel like when it comes down into it, because I put something out on Twitter like earlier today where I said that I think the Patriots, say that I was a GM of the Patriots, I would select Marvin Harrison Jr., get a blue chip wide receiver, and then wait until the second to grab your guy. It could be Penix, right?
Yeah.
Or fuck it. It could be damn Rattler, or say like maybe
you trade back
Jordan Travis or something along those lines. My thought was that like I'm choosing a blue chip wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., because I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a hell of a lot better with Jordan Travis than Drake May is going to be with a bunch of like, Foot Locker employees.
Yes. I just realized, by the way,
that
I had this set completely to public. Let's change this up a little bit. Maybe that was why it was the way it was. What settings do you typically do that you find are best?
So I typically have 2 right where you're at right there. Care for positional value, I leave. Draft for needs, I put it in the middle.
Okay.
Because you're going to see some like randoms. I wish PFF like had like a simulator where they actually mocked trade ups outside of the team you selected. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, they don't. But then draft for needs, I think that's fine. And then randomness, maybe one more notch up.
One more notch up. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say one more notch up. That's the cookie. Let's knock it out.
I also wish they would send you trades that you don't have to initiate yourself. Like I wish they would just send along, like, we have these offers, and all you have to do is click like, oh, okay, I accept that. That would be cool too.
Yeah. No. That would definitely be ideal.
All right. We're starting over with the updated settings. Let's let it rip. Now let's see if we see that happen again with
Drake May.
All right. So there.
Marvin,
that's true. What you were just talking about. The Patriots go and get that blue chip wide receiver. They pass on the quarterback. They stick with Jacoby Brissett for the year, and Marvin Harrison Jr. enters the AFC East in the beginning of this draft. 2 quarterbacks off the board early. Odunze at 4 and Neighbors at 5. So, Dan, in this scenario, even if the Bills wanted to trade up, there wasn't a prayer in hell they would have been able to. 3 wide receivers back to back to back, 3 through 5. Is this something you could see happening? Because when you look at the team's needs, it very well could.
Yeah. First 6 picks are going to be 3 quarterbacks and 3 wide receivers. Right.
Unless we see a shakeup on the line out of nowhere, maybe with the Chargers, Chargers trade back, maybe. Yeah. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
In fact, the fact that we haven't seen seen McCarthy go yet.
So the only way that, say for example, because don't forget, so the Broncos and the Vikings are in desperate need of a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of mocks of them trading with Arizona.
Yep. Same here.
And I've seen 4 quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, and 4. If that's the case with the Chargers, and we're talking about Harbaugh here, he could be just wild and take Joe out.
Yeah,
that's something he would do.
Yeah, agreed.
And then if that's the case, 6, I think the Giants would probably take a wide receiver. I think the Falcons probably wouldn't. The Bears would. I could see Odunze falling to like 10, to be completely honest with you. And the Jets would definitely not entertain that.
Agreed.
But I think the Bears and the Falcons would be interested.
So let's see if with the top 3 wide receivers already off the board, let's see if the Giants go J.J. McCarthy here. And they don't. They go, Jaden Daniels had fallen. Wow. So they got May going pretty high in this one. Brock Bowers early to the Titans. He's mocked up in plenty of New York Jets mock drafts. See what the Jets do here at 10. And they go tackle, which I think would be a good move for them. I think shoring up the line on either side would be a good move for the Jets if those or if Brock Bowers is gone. Yeah. I could see them shoring up the line, which I think is probably the smartest move for them. McCarthy falls to 14. More so right now. Dan, interesting here. 16. 16. Seattle takes your boy BTJ. He's already gone halfway through the draft.
Yeah.
So now in this scenario, Dan, there's nothing you do here but sit back and wait, in my opinion. Nobody else worth trading up for at this point.
Yeah. No. Not at all. Like, I mean, honestly, man, I would say that if Bean really wants BTJ, I think the perfect target here is the Indianapolis Colts at 15. I think that's probably going to be the safest move because I've seen him mocked like it's between 15 to 28. Like sometimes I see him fall to 28, which is unreasonable, but I still see him there. You know,
so here's how it falls. Interesting. We have Adonai Mitchell going at 19. This is about as high as I've seen him. A lot of mocks have him in a variety of different places. I've seen him even higher than this, not all that much higher, but a little higher. And then, down into the mid 20s, late 20s. He's kind of all over the place on these boards, but here it sits right now, Dan. Bills are up at 28, and Troy Franklin and Ladd McConkey are on the board.
Yeah.
You're more Ladd McConkey than Troy Franklin, I take it. I feel like I lean that way as well.
Definitely, man. Honestly, so when I look at Ladd McConkey, I like to look at it's probably the closest receiver to the skill set that we just missed out on with Stephon Diggs. Similar height. He's faster than Stephon Diggs. Great route tree, change of direction. If you're looking for truly a receiver that could mimic what Diggs did, that is Ladd McConkey. But I'm interested to see any trade down options.
Let's take a look.
I'll tell you what, right now, since none of them are in the first, I was kind of hoping that like the Niners wanted to go up or like one of the other teams wanted to go up in that situation because I was going to try and fleece them for a third, but I still want that 5th-year option. I'd probably say no to these trades, but I'll tell you what, dude, it's no questions asked. Ladd McConkey is the pick here.
I agree with you. I was going to see if we could fleece Washington a bit here for 36 and 40 to move up to 28, but that's a bit of I ask. What if we package the 28 and the 60? What are your thoughts on 36 and 40, 28 and 60 with Washington?
36 and 40 would be interesting, but then again, it just depends on whether or not that we want to have that 5th-year option, right? Like say, for example, that like one of our dudes goes off, then like we don't have that luxury. And I think it's something that the team probably holds pretty dear.
Yeah.
At that point, I'd probably stay put, I think, and I'm not a Troy Franklin guy. And I feel like the chat's going to go nuts. If we did that, I think our only possible option would have been like a Nubin or a Keon Coleman, who I know a lot of people hate.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So I think with that being said, my pick would be Ladd McConkey here. I'm good on Nubin.
I'm good with McConkey here. I would love the pick if the board fell this way. Didn't have to give up anything, and I think you're getting a guy that's guaranteed to be a impact player in this league to at least some degree. I just don't see how Ladd McConkey does not wind up being some sort of major playmaker in this league. And if you're able to get him at 28 and not have to give up anything, even better. So let's go Ladd McConkey here at pick 28 for the Bills. And
so the funny thing is that
and by the way, Dan, not to cut you off, I didn't mean to, but just interesting.
Troy Franklin.
Troy Franklin. So I think if we would have went Troy Franklin, I think the Chiefs would have went Ladd McConkey.
They 1,000% would, man. There's reports that they're thinking about trading up for him. That's how much they want the guy.
With the Chiefs?
Yeah.
How about, I don't know, have you taken a look at Peter Schrager's recent mock draft by any chance?
I haven't, no.
So what I like about him is his is based on what he's hearing from his inside sources or whatever, and I haven't seen anything like this. Now, you know my love for the Washington wide receivers in Odunze and Polk.
Yeah.
He has the Chiefs taking Jalen Polk at 32. It's the only mock I've seen him go in the first round. But I think it's inevitable, Dan. Wide receiver, is going to be taken by both the Bills and the Chiefs. That's why it adds even that much more of an intrigue level. Not that we needed any more to it, but I think whoever the Bills take is whoever the Chiefs probably would have taken should that guy have fallen, and vice versa. Whoever's not there, the Chiefs are going to take. Very interesting if we have another scenario that we saw happen a couple of years ago where the Chiefs trade up just a bit, get their guy, Bills have to settle, and it winds up turning out for the worse for Buffalo. The Bills cannot let that happen again this year, especially if they have a guy that they have in mind. They cannot let the Chiefs jump him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, even with Brandon Beane, he said that his goal on Thursday is just to go to bed happy. So
and that's all
he has somebody, he's going to do whatever he possibly can.
I want to go to bed happy too, Beane. And I feel like if you're happy, I'll probably be happy.
Okay.
So here's the board. Shockingly, Penix is still available at pick 60 for anybody in the quarterback market. But here's how it sits right now here, Dan. We have Javon Bullard here up at safety, sitting at the 47th overall rank, available at pick 60. I've seen a lot of Chris Jenkins mock-ups for the Bills here at pick 60. We do have Xavier Legette sitting around here as well. That's been a name tossed around for the Bills in the second round. What are you looking on here?
Dude, I love Malachi Corley too, by the way, but this is too early. I did this in a previous mock draft, and I want to try something real fast. Who is offering us to trade down? It's the Broncos at 76.
Mm-hmm.
See if the Ravens want to trade down with us.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and knock that out real fast. Let's give them 66. And so do they have a third rounder?
I believe 93 would be a late third. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do 62. Let's do 62, 93, 60. We'll give them. I don't know. Let's try and package in the 144 from Chicago and then give them a 2025 sixth. Let's try that. Let's try a fourth. Let's try a fourth instead. That'll do it. Offer the trade.
Oh, that's just.
Oh, dude.
There
you go. Accept it.
All right. So we just made a trade with the Ravens. Bills move back to 62. Ravens move up to 60. And we also acquire the 93. I like that. I want to see us get some sort of third round pick.
It's going to be that, or we're going to trade up into the third, but I can almost guarantee you. And they take Xavier Legette, which sucks. I love Xavier Legette.
We weren't going to do that there anyways, I don't think, right?
No, not at all. So receiver, we're pretty solid at. Love Malachi Corley, but it's too early to take Baker. I could potentially see us scrolling down for a second and see how far Baker's down.
Baker.
Or is Baker already gone? And Javon Baker?
Right here we go.
78.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. He's probably too early right now because we're down at 83. We can just hope that he falls to us. I'll tell you what, dude, at this point, and there's even rumors that Micah Hyde might be coming back.
Well, he's having his softball tournament in Buffalo next week, and I haven't, nothing's been solidified there. So it's more of a possibility now, Dan, I'll say, than I thought it was going to be. Nothing's happened now. So it's very much in the cards, more so than I thought it would be at this time.
Yeah. And I love Malachi Corley. He is a slot guy, but like he's been known as like the Yak King. He's been known as the Yak King. Like, dude is absolutely nuts when it comes to the ball. He's a huge playmaker. And so I know we have Shakir and stuff along those lines, but I mean, I could see this guy rotating. Marshawn Nyland is also an option. We've had a meeting with the guy as well. I don't know, man. Where are you leaning with this one?
I just see this pick being defense. For Beane. I could see the Jenkins pick. That just is right up their alley. I could also see that Nyland pick as well. If you had to choose, which one would you go between the two?
Is between the two, I'd probably go with Nyland.
All right.
And to be honest with you, because there's so many question marks about if Von Miller is going to come back at all, if we're going to see any semblance of what he was like, 2 years ago. Like, I'd probably go Nyland because there's a couple of defensive linemen I actually like in the later rounds.
All right, let's go Nyland here. And then we did acquire a third round draft pick as well from that trade with Baltimore. So we should be coming up at the end here, and there it is. All right, so this is how it falls here, Dan.
Yep.
And we have already shored up the edge position, the wide receiver position. What are you looking for if they do wind up getting into the third round? Anything specific around this area?
Check out interior offensive. Okay. Never mind. I saw his name. Scrolling down. Mason McCormick, guard out of South Dakota State. He was on an offensive line that was undefeated in D2. Everybody on that offensive line is going to be sick. He plays left guard by itself with question marks of how the left guard position is going to turn out with McGovern moving over to center. He's one of my personal favorite prospects, and I think he's a plug and play day one starter.
I like that.
I love Mason McCormick here. Everybody else, I mean, really just based off of sleepy needs. Shit. I mean, I think Baker's already gone too, but there's still a couple of other receivers we could take a look at. But yeah, dude.
I'd be good with that. I think you get 3 positional groups of need.
Yep.
Back-to-back picks, and I'd be feeling pretty decent about the variety here. And we can always, I think at this point, you can double dip at receiver later on.
Exactly.
In the 4th.
Exactly. So, there's definitely some solid receivers later on that I think they can translate. So I'd say it's Mason McCormick, man.
All right, let's do Mason McCormick. The Bills have what, 4 4th-round picks or 5th-round picks? So
we have, we have. I think we have a 4th. Yeah, we have a 4th right here. So, okay, this is where it gets interesting.
Right. This is where I just start drafting for positional need just based on rank. I could see them taking one of these safeties here, or I could see them going linebacker here as well. I think when we get to this stage, we're going to start seeing either linebacker or secondary to some degree, and that is what's towards the top here. I would be more inclined to go safety at this position, I think, than I would linebacker, just because I know we need depth at the linebacker position, but I do love the core of the linebacker as it stands right now.
Me too. And plus, I mean, honestly, we have no idea what sort of development we're going to see from Dorian Williams too. So on the outside,
a lot of potential linebacker.
So I think safety would probably make the most sense out of both of the Utah safeties. I like Cole Bishop way more than Vaki.
All right, let's go with Cole Bishop then at safety. Now we only pick a couple of picks after this.
Yep.
So this could be where they take that linebacker shortly after that 130 pick.
Check out running back for me real fast. Let me just
let
me just see what guys are still on the board.
I do like me some Shipley. He is still available.
He's a big dude, yeah.
Like
RB2, I think that we're probably looking for a bruiser.
Yeah.
I love Isaac Garendo, but he's pretty late. We could probably get him in the 5th or the 6th. I think that he'd be a really good piece. He slept on a Louisville. And so I like Shipley here too. But let's see. We already ended up having safety, wide receiver, guard, edge.
I think we can get a running back at 160 or 163.
I think so too.
Let's see what about Jordan McGee out of Temple here at linebacker?
Solid in coverage. Let's check out Maris real fast.
Okay.
Check out Maris real fast. Let's take a look. Solid coverage grade, so he's probably going to be a McDermott guy, right? Especially at 84.1. Run defense seems to be powerful downhill linebacker, attacks the ball as carrier, blockers with bad intentions. His cons are what I like to look at. A little slow to recognize where the ball is going, average long speed. Nasty when downhill, great power at contact.
Sounds like a bruiser who just needs to be coached up in coverage.
Exactly. And his coverage grade is pretty high, even with that being some of his weaknesses.
That's true. That's a good point. What do you say we take a flyer here on Maris at linebacker at 133?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think Maris is the move here.
All right, let's do that.
I'll tell you what. Say that the draft works out like this, I'd be pretty happy at this point.
One thing I like about this is just you're tapping in on a variety of different needs here.
Yeah. Dude.
Okay, so this is the area where I'm going to start considering another wide receiver. You got 160 and you got 163.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just take a look.
So a guy that I just ended up learning about a couple of days ago. He's on top of the board. His name is Jalen Coker.
Holy cross.
Big bodied dude, has great hands, great body control. As far as change of direction, he can correct himself. Say, for example, that the quarterback like throws it right to the opposite side of the shoulder. He has issues with separation. However, a lot of scouts are thinking that he does it on purpose because he's such a big dude that like he welcomes that sort of thing. So like he could be a solid possession guy at the end of the day. I mean,
look at this grade in 2023. That's pretty
yeah,
killer.
Yeah. What's the size again? Let's go ahead and take a let's take a first look over there. Yeah,
6'3",
213. He's got incredible hands, but like he welcomes traffic. Like he's super comfortable in traffic to a point where I think like, yeah, he doesn't create separation, but I feel like deep inside of him, he just doesn't want to. And so he just wants the smoke.
And he's most mocked to the Bills in this type of type of area. No, and no analysis here.
Yeah, here's a guy, you know.
I like that. Especially because I think Collinsworth, I think he owns PFF. So that's funny how they put that in there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm down. I want another wide receiver here at 160 or 163. So I'm willing to take a move. I mean, that grade in 2023 was, I mean, I know it's lower end D1 at Holy Cross, but about as top of that sector as you can get. So I think we can go is it Coker or is it Cocker? How does he pronounce it?
I think it's Coker.
Coker. All right, let's go Coker here.
I think it's Coker.
And I think we go cornerback here, Dan.
Here's my thing, right? Love Cam Hart. He's one of my personal favorite, especially down in like the 5th or the 6th rounders. But so there is this one dude out of Arkansas, but like he's like a 6th round talent. His name is Dwight McGlothern as well. So like we could wait for him.
What position is that?
It's corner.
Corner.
Dwight McGlothern. And so I think he is heavily slept on. And so I think we could potentially wait for a guy like that. He has the size, but Cam Hart's filthy too, though. I do like Cam Hart a lot.
So we don't pick again for about 40 picks at 200.
I'll tell you what, with that being said, I would probably end up going with Cam Hart.
Okay.
Because who knows if Dwight would have been there. I think that makes a little bit. Well, we haven't taken running back. Yeah, let's take Cam Hart. Fuck it.
Let's do it.
Let's run with it.
Now, so far, we have pretty much we have tackled every single different position of need. We double dipped at wide receiver. 3 picks remaining now, and this is probably where we're going to want to take a look at running back here and see what's available.
Okay.
Wasn't Kevin telling us about this? What is it? Or was it somebody else he was telling us about? I can't remember. Late round running back. I mean, it gets to this point where I just have no clue, but you have to imagine that Bean takes at least one running back late here.
So and so a lot of people have been high on Dylan Johnson. I just want to see his measurables because we already have a James Cook who's like the lightning, you know, like he's a tad undersized for the position. I think that we're going to be looking for a younger Latavius Murray, 6 foot 218. That's a pretty good size running back. He's decent all around athlete, but lacks a difference making trait for him to stand out at the NFL level. His most likely projection is a 3rd down back.
6 foot 218.
Is that what we
need? Size.
Fierce stiff arm, has a decent foot speed to make people miss and cut in the backfield. Long speed, appears slightly above average, doesn't really set defenders up to make them miss. Doesn't get much more than what's blocked for him. Takes a few steps for him to get cutbacks. So I think a lot of people are high on the guy here.
I'm down to go running back at this spot. And
me too.
Let's do it. Let's go Dylan Johnson here. I
think Dylan Johnson, he's a 6th rounder, worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, we just, we grab Zeke Elliott in free agency, say that it doesn't work out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
So at the late stages here, where do you think Bean just kind of throws his hat into the ring at? Is there anywhere in particular?
I mean, you look at our offensive tackle depth, right? Probably not like a lot of confidence right behind anybody that's backing up Dawkins or Brown. So I think he'd probably take a look at some offensive tackles that might be available at this point. Like with Driscoll's pretty solid. I forget if he's right or a left tackle. Let me see. 6'7". He's a left tackle. Right tackle is well experienced by itself. His pass block grade is average. Run block is I suppose. But, I mean, solid developmental piece.
At this point, I think you're right. Tackle sounds like it probably would be something late here.
Yeah.
Just to throw in. So let's just go with it at this point. We can't pretend
Yeah.
we know what the hell we're talking about at 200. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I have like cherry picked players that like just fall to me in my mocks, and that's why I know about them. But like, I mean, outside of this, I'm just, dude, it's pretty. Austin Reed, dude, we getting a backup QB. I thought I heard someone say that Mitch Trubisky was going to be trade bait. So that's exactly why we got it.
That's what's going to get us up to the top 10.
Is Mitch Trubisky, baby.
Yeah, I think it might. We'll send Mitch to the Vikings, and we'll hop up into the top 10.
Dude, you know what, man?
By the way,
hey, listen, you know what? I mean, it's the last pick of our draft right here. I mean, maybe a kicker, dude.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Now,
you know,
is Reichert a punter or a place kicker? What's up here?
I mean, who do we have? Sam Martin and Matt Hack right now. I mean, I feel like Tyler Bass needs to have, it's a little fire lit under his ass. You know what I mean? Some competition.
I'm with that. I got to make sure. Is this guy? What kind of kicker is he? Is he like a field goal kicker, or is he a punter?
He's a kicker because all the punters are so labeled with P on PFF.
Oh, they are.
Look at that dude, man.
Yeah. Look at him. I like the haircut. How do you get to punter then on here? What the hell's up?
You just go to special teams. It's the last one, yeah. First punter is Ryan Reckhow from BYU.
That's where we're going. We're ending in the draft. We're ending the draft with a punter, Ryan.
Why not?
Reckhow.
Hey, you know what?
Let's see how we did.
A-.
Yeah, we got a B. Not very good. Not nearly as good as I've done in the past. It looks like they did not love what we did towards the top here, Dan. 2 C pluses in round 2 and round 3 going edge and guard.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been trying to figure out exactly how PFF works it. Like, they definitely have like some interesting like ways about it, but like they give you the grades based off of how they have these players ranked themselves, or basically best player available.
Yeah,
is what I have seen. Me personally, I'm pretty happy with this.
I don't hate it. There's so many needs that were addressed here.
Yeah.
I do think we did. It was a little lacking around here based on what was available. That was the problem. I think we went best available here for what the Bills needed.
Yeah.
Round 2 and round 3. There wasn't a whole lot sticking out to us.
No.
But let's run it back. We'll run it back here again, and we will try to do a trade this time around. We'll just do 5 rounds this time, but we'll try to make a trade here this round and see what is available. Now, if it happens like it does the last mock here, if it falls like it just did, and the 3 wide receivers towards the top are gone in the top 5, there's no way we're going to be able to make it happen. But let's see what goes down here.
Let's take a look.
All right, so we got first three picks, all quarterback. Harrison's off the board for the Cardinals at 4. Neighbors. Okay. Wow. What the hell? What really?
Quinyon Mitchell at 6. He's he's
That's the first I've seen
great corner. He's a great corner, but I'll tell you what, I feel like the Titans, like not in real life. And so I sincerely believe, right, that the Titans will go offensive line in real life, but I think this mock draft simulator is probably going to select right now Rome Odunze. So if that's the case, let's send a bag over to them. Let's
try and see what we can do here.
7, 28. Let's do a first round because that's probably what it's going to be. First.
Now, I've seen a lot of scenarios, Dan, where this just gets it done. Next year's first and nothing else gets it done in a lot of the ones I've done.
So next year's first and nothing else?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, too.
Would you do that?
With this? Oh, yeah, most definitely. I would definitely roll the dice with that. 1,010%, because look at the way that we like knock it out as well. Being said, like he almost ended up alluding to the fact that Minnesota second round might be on the table if he wants to move up. And the Vikings are going to be a trash team. So that's going to be a pretty early pick in the second round.
Yeah.
So that's going to be valuable. I'll be honest with you, man. I'd probably include that Minnesota one.
Okay.
And then that would get it done knock
Okay.
out. We still have our 60th overall. Let's offer it up.
Okay, so that's gonna get it done.
1,010%. And then with that being said, we take Rome Odunze.
And it's a happy night in Buffalo.
It's a happy night in Buffalo.
I'm very excited about that. So there goes Odunze to the Bills at 7.
Oh, dude.
Tennessee hooks it up. We give away next year's first and the Vikings' second pick next year.
Yeah, so we still have a second. Yeah, so we still have a second round pick next year. No first, but
now, what are your thoughts on trying to trade up earlier into the second here?
See, the one thing about PFF that's frustrating is that I can't see the board of available players right in front of me. Like, I suppose that I can see how it goes. I would be interested, but I would have to think about what player are we targeting? Who would you want that would make us trade up? Right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I would think probably we would go maybe Newman to trade up if we could.
Yeah.
But it could be tough. I mean, he might be gone within the next couple of picks. Let's just let it roll out here and see what happens.
Yeah, let's let it ride. Guyton, Lad McConkey, Jackson Powers Johnson fell to 32.
Yeah, so McConkey goes to the Ravens. Interesting. Now, we do have Newman still on the board here at 34. Let's let it run a little bit longer here.
Troy Franklin.
All right, so Franklin goes to the Pats. Pats got to be pretty happy with getting a QB and a potential projected first-round wide receiver in their back-to-back picks. This is where I don't know. I mean, I could consider. Let's see what the
Roman Wilson.
All right,
dude, Newman's dropping.
This is where, and based on the, I don't know if we see him go these next few picks.
So here's the deal, right? I've been also experimenting with double dipping on wide receiver first and second round, but I feel like with a receiver like Odunze, we don't need to do that. And I'd be okay with a Coker in the 5th, for example. But then a lot of my mock drafts, what I've been doing, if we're at 28 and we get Lad McConkey, then I've also been targeting Xavier Legette for the second round. But in this scenario, I really don't see us necessarily needing to draft 2 receivers back-to-back with that. Adisa Isaac, Jalen Polk, dude.
He's fallen. Newman's fallen. I mean,
let's fuck around with Green Bay because they're probably going to draft them, to be honest with you, because they need a safety. Yeah.
All right.
Trade them up a little bit. 41, 60. I don't know, 140. Damn.
Oh, they are not looking to do work with us.
They do not want to. Yeah, dude.
Screw them. All right.
They do not want to work with us at all.
All right.
Chris Jenkins.
He's still there. Okay.
All right, dude.
Let's see if Houston's a bit. We just hooked Houston up with Dig. Let's see if he's a little bit more lenient. Damn.
Dude. It's no business with the Buffalo Bills, man.
I mean, he's tanking here.
Zero business.
Dude, we're down to 44. I mean, this is pretty. I could very well see a move being made. Let's see here.
Somebody has to be interested.
Wow.
They don't want any of the smoke here, dude.
They don't want nothing to do with us.
Not a sick Bo Nix. Tyler Newman gone.
Dang it.
45. 45, man.
I would have really, really liked moving up 15 spots in the second round.
Yeah.
Newman there. That's crazy. I haven't seen him fall that low.
He's a dog, man.
All right, so we screwed that up, but nobody wanted to work with us. We couldn't give up that much just to move up 15 picks in the second round. We couldn't do that.
So he wasn't for sale, man. He wasn't for sale.
He wasn't for sale. All right, so he's gone. It was a nice thought, but he's gone.
Xavier Legette's gone.
Yes. All right, now here we sit, Dan, with our 60th pick yet again.
Yeah.
And
did he go with Hicks this time?
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, you go with Hicks.
Or Ellis.
Yeah, let me see his stuff. I forget if he's a free safety or a strong safety.
So
coverage 84.9. Let's take a first look.
Hicks is a well-built, strong safety who can play at all 3 levels of the field. He is a tone-setting tackler and has starting potential in 2 safety systems. especially as a strong safety over the middle.
Solid tackler, consistent. Weaknesses, man coverage ability is there in flashes, but is inconsistent. We're predominantly zones, so not really an issue there. Straight line speed is good, not great. Can be a bit over aggressive in pursuit angles. Run defense isn't bad. And it's a how long, and so do we sign Rap to?
Yep.
1 year or 2?
Yep.
It was 1 year?
Not sure, at least a year, obviously. But
I think Hicks is I think Hicks is the pick then.
Yeah, I'm all with that. I would be satisfied with this.
Yeah.
Early on here. I mean, anything that entails Odunze coming to the Bills in the top 10 is going to satisfy me. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Whatever happens, man. I probably won't even watch anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I probably will.
Well, you could probably turn the first round off if you want, because that.
Yeah, most definitely. Just start partying somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's something interesting. Audric Esteem. All right, this is a 4th rounder, but we already have had a meeting with him. He's right up there out of Notre Dame, running back. Go ahead, we knocked that out. Big bodied dude. He's like 6'2". You can go ahead and peep his stats. 1,300 yards last year.
Wow.
94 rushing grade. Solid in gap, right? Great build for a back. He's a powerful player. He can take hits and deal them out. Legs are constantly churning, even after contact. Takes ball security very seriously. Pretty light on his.
We got a bunch of picks in this area. This could be a spot to get a running back that could actually be an impact as opposed to hope just turns into something. I don't mind that, Dan.
He's a dude. He's a big-bodied RB2 with 1,000% compliment. 1,000% would compliment him.
Because we got 2 picks within 5 picks here. So take that there. Now, Eichenberg to me, interesting out of Ohio State if we want to go linebacker.
Yeah.
So as it stands right now, we have a wide receiver, we have a running back, and we have a safety.
Yeah.
Probably either D line here or a linebacker would be my guess, Dan.
So what's Wingo all about?
Let's take a look.
7 violent push.
Shorter arms and legs limits his efficiency and versatility. He will likely be limited between the two in the 4-eye alignments in a 4-3 scheme. But his quickness and consistent hand placement can lead to some success as a rotational pass rusher.
And so we are in the 4th round, right?
Right. And we got multiple picks within a short time span here.
Yeah. So with Eichenberg would be interesting too. His coverage grade is ass, though.
Ass, man. What's up with that?
Yeah, that's the problem. Excellent eyes and run defense. Those are the ball. Well, so you have Bernard, you have Milano, who are pretty stout in coverage. Good run defender, I guess.
I feel like how could we go 4 rounds without being taken D-line? Let's go Wingo here.
I feel like we got to go Wingo. He's developmental. We still have Daquan Jones. We still have Ed Oliver. Hopefully he develops into something.
And now we can take Marist at linebacker. How about that? Works out.
Dude, absolutely, man. I'm hard right now. I love it.
Perfect. That sounds great. I love that. All right, so we're shirt up there. And now maybe we start looking at another wide receiver. Shockingly, your boy Cocker is gone.
Yeah, he is gone. Marcus Rosemy-Jackson. What's he all about? I'll be honest with you. I'm not too familiar with his.
I'm not either.
Get off press coverage, fundamentally sound, and
0 drops on 93 targets over the last 2 years. Damn.
Oh, what's his size too? Let's see what his size is.
6'2",
195.
Yeah, a little lanky, but I like the height.
Welcome to Bills. 0 drops. I like that.
Yeah, I'm in on that. There's going to be another wide receiver at some point, so might as well be now. And then,
what about Zach Zinter? Does he play left guard or right guard?
Let's take a peek. Looks like it's right guard exclusively.
Yeah, that's not gonna help. Probably pass on him.
I could see maybe we finish up with an edge presence here.
Why not? What's Nelson Caesar all about?
Let's take a peek.
13.6 pass rush win rate, 10 sacks last year out of Houston.
Look at that uptick here.
Yeah.
In less snaps, by the way. In far less snaps than the year prior.
Dude. All right. Just welcome to the Buffalo Bills, dude.
Welcome to Buffalo. Hope the hat fits.
Dude,
We did 5 rounds this time around.
I tell you what, I feel better about this one.
All right, we did a little bit better. We got B+. We nailed. This is what matters the most to me. We didn't. It brought us down that late pick there at the edge. But look at everything else. We're talking A-. They didn't love the running back in the beginning of the 4th, but we have what? We have 3 4th-round picks back to back to back there. It's safe to assume a running back could be considered there. So I think that's a little harsh on the B- there. But we got an A+ on Odunze in the trade up.
Yeah.
An A right in the 2nd round, getting a much needed safety in there. And then, I don't know, I like the looks of this. And once again, a variety of different areas that are tackled, which are interesting.
I'm happy about it, man.
Dan, before we wrap up here, and we'll be going live over on Dan's channel in just a couple of minutes here, let's head over to BetUS because they got a ton of different props that are up right now for the draft, which are freaking awesome. And I don't know if you've seen, but have you seen the props surrounding our Bills on BetUS?
So I haven't seen the updated win total yet.
No, they actually, Dan, have a Bills prop for the draft, which is awfully interesting. I'll scroll down here and show you. And this is in addition to a ton of other, I mean, they have, look at all the props they have.
So this is all the Bills stuff right here.
No, this is the one I wanted to show you because I think it's a bit funny, but also interesting. Which position will the Bills take with their first pick? And this is interesting to me, Dan, because we're so used to defensive oriented mindset with Bean and McDermott.
Yeah.
Offensive player in the first round is at minus 325, Dan.
Yeah.
So that's the Bills prop that's up, and they're almost assuring, at least based on the odds, that the Bills are going to be walking away with their first pick being an offensive side of the ball type guy.
See, you know what? It's kind of funny, folks. Everybody watching, say, for example, that you really want offense, and there might be a world where Bean picks defense and you're pissed off. At least pick the no.
I like
get paid for being pissed off. You know what I mean? Throw a 20 at plus 250 odds. At least you'll be paid for you being upset.
And then this is the one that interests me the most out of all of them, Dan. Rome Odunze's draft position over 8.5, under 8.5. The over is the slight dog. Now, the Bills have been projected in some of these potential trade-ups to get him at 9. We took him at 7 in our mock. Where do you think he inevitably winds up falling next week when the chips are laid out?
I think 9. I think 9 is
thinking 9 too, and I'm thinking if he gets to 9, Dan, it could be time for Bean to make a phone call.
See, I'm thinking 9 because I'll tell you what, like everyone's saying now, there's going to be 3 quarterbacks and 3 receivers in a row.
Yeah.
I promise you that either the Vikings or the Broncos are going to trade with Arizona at number 4 and take a quarterback. Or, and so the Pats even ended up saying that their 3rd overall pick is open for business.
Yes.
There will be a team that drafts up that's going to make it 4 QBs in a row.
And I don't think the Chargers are going to take a wide receiver either.
Yeah.
So
absolutely not.
I think
so the Titans aren't going to take a wide receiver either.
I don't think
they have D-Hop and they have, Ridley now. So I think that they need to invest in that O-line.
Agreed. I think it's going to come down to, I think the Cardinals are all but inevitably taking a wide receiver. I think it might come down to what the Patriots do, and it's going to come down to what the Titans probably do as well. But yeah. I could see Odunze fall into 8.5. That's one. I already placed my bet on over 8.5 on one of the last shows I did. Dan likes it too, and if you want to, you can get in on it. As always, BetUS, #1 online sportsbook, and the link is in the description below. 125% deposit match up to $2,500 on your first 3 deposits. So that means if you put in $500, you'll have $1,250 to play with, 24/7 customer service, 24-hour payouts, you name it. BetUS has it all. Once again, link in the description below to get be able to take advantage of that bonus. And by the way, I keep stressing this, come and take advantage of it. I'm giving away $125 in free play. All you have to do is DM me a screenshot of your BetUS account on Twitter. First 5 people to do so get $25 in free play. So you can go ahead and just throw that right on the Odunze prop, and you'll be set to go. Real quick word from BetUS before we wrap up and let you know what we got going on Dan's channel in just a second.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
All right, there's no excuse. You guys are already all in here, which means you're on YouTube. So that means you can easily hop over to Dan's channel. Dan, let them know you, me, and Kevin on the round table. What are we going to be talking about in a couple of minutes here?
Yes, sir. Most definitely. So it's going to be on the AFC East Roundtable channel. So definitely go ahead and check that out, folks. We are going to be discussing all of the key takeaways that we got back from the press conferences from Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, and Josh Allen, what it tells us about the draft, what it tells us about the Buffalo Bills' future. So you definitely don't want to miss that. AFC East Roundtable channel will be going live here in about 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be live over there. And then for those who join us, obviously, over there, but don't, you might not catch the end, me and Rico will be live tomorrow at noon as well. And we'll be doing a very similar thing to what we're about to do on the roundtable, talking about all that we heard from the media today, including Josh Allen, because that was interesting. It was the first time we've heard from him really since the Diggs move. So a lot to talk about. But first things first, over on Dan's channel is where we'll be. Make sure to join us right now over on the Dan Mitchell YouTube channel. And we appreciate you joining in for this one. We'll see you in just a couple of minutes. Peace.
See y'all soon.
Spend some time together, we'll feel much better. It's good for you.